is intended for a mature audience. If you are not 18 or older, stop listening and find more age-appropriate content. This show will cover topics in a satirical manner. If you are offended by any content herein, that is your own problem. As you have been warned, please do not try this at home, or anywhere else for that matter.
And welcome to Blown Pistons. I'm your host, Gremlin Dave. Joining me, we have Tripper.
Hello.
And we have Jeff from Gearhead Coffee.
How are you today?
I am great.
Great.
How are you doing?
It's great. It's great. It's we're week of Thanksgiving. I'm a big eater, so I love Thanksgiving and Christmas for multiple reasons, but one of which is food. So count down the days till our fried turkey, smoked ham, and all the sides.
Yum.
Yeah,
it's getting there. I know we decided to try to spend more time with the family and just ordered like a big Thanksgiving dinner from one of the supermarkets here.
nice.
We still got to
nice.
cook it, but we don't have to like cook it.
Yeah, you're more of a warm up.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, we actually are doing a traditional one this year, gathering the family and everybody's making something and contributing. So we're looking forward to that.
Good stuff. I'm assuming a Wisconsin Thanksgiving includes some sort of brat.
No, actually, not a traditional one.
My house it does actually.
Yeah, good stuff.
One of my kids absolutely loves brats, and we have a hard time getting him to eat anything but brats.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because I've got 6 boys here, so.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Hats off to you, because we've got 2 little girls, and I'm like, I pull my hair out half the time with 2.
Oh, well, you shouldn't be thanking or doing that to me. It should be my wife. She's the one that's going to stand up with all 6 of them, including me too. I'm like an overgrown child half the time.
Nice.
But all right. So Jeff, we've got you here from Gearhead Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your coffee and stuff.
Yeah, so Gearhead Coffee, I'll tell you a little bit about how we got started. So we're coming up on our 4th anniversary, actually. And our background is we were a desert racing team. So we ran the Baja 1000. We ran the Best in the Desert series out of Las Vegas. And while out there at these events, we saw, there's a difference between desert racing, like the off-road racing, and track racing, right? Where you're coming around, it's like, oh, I'm back to my pit. Where, man, you might be 30, 40 miles off-road, the whole inside of your vehicle, all your tools are zip tied to the side, because it's like, oh, you're out in the middle of nowhere, no one can come to you. But what we saw is, everybody's up, you're up 24, 48 hours, long periods of time. And the only thing people were doing is they were just pounding energy drinks. And so we joke around and say, we're not saying that coffee is a health drink by any means, but it was a healthier alternative to get the needed caffeine. And so that was really the catalyst that started Gearhead Coffee, was the off-road racing, the desert racing, and the opportunity or the need to ingest large amounts of caffeine. So yeah,
cool.
Yeah, so we're based in Texas, in the Dallas area, actually. Like I said, we're coming up on 4-year anniversary for us. Everything that we do is really focused on the automotive and motorsport world. So you'll see that with all the names of our roast, the logo design. So everything's hand drawn, trademarked, all of that stuff. Everything is really driven towards that automotive motorsports niche. And we found that, I guess you guys would probably agree, most garages you're gonna go into, there's gonna be tools and there's gonna be someone drinking coffee. So it was just a match made in heaven. So yeah.
So did you guys run like the Baja 1000 and stuff like that?
Yeah, we did. We ran it. We never completed it. We ran it a couple different times. And I'll tell you, hindsight's 2020. And I'll say what caught us, I think the thing that we underestimated more than anything else were just the elements, right? So it's, 80, 90 degrees during the day, it goes down into the 30s at night, and you've got mist. It's like, I remember 1.5 hour stretch of going through like 18 rags, just trying to keep,
Oh, wow.
just trying to keep clean, right? Because you couldn't see. And so the elements played a big role. And I mean, definitely I don't want to say once in a lifetime, because we did it multiple times, but if you ever have the opportunity, it is a bucket list. I mean, it is just a cool, really cool experience. Yeah.
I know that is one of the things that's on my bucket list, along with like Pikes Peak and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so it was cool. We actually built, the Gearhead team built the car. So we ran a Polaris RZR, the 4-seater, in essence, cut it down, welded it into a customized 2-seater. So that we'd have the longer, the long span, everything that we needed, to run that race. And it was a cool experience. A bunch of guys. I live with my wife, 2 little girls, so it's like a guy. You know what I mean? It was like a guys bonding type thing, but it was a really cool experience, and everything associated with it. So the trip down, the ancillary items, the parties, the food, just the atmosphere in Ensenada, all of that is it's just a overall cool experience that even if you don't run it, it's worth going down just to see it. It truly is like the Super Bowl. When we were going through tech inspection, a guy flew out to tech inspect the car, the cage, everything. And he said, it's the Super Bowl for Mexico. And so when you get down there, it's crazy. It's, people coming up and saying, can I have your autograph? And you're like, my autograph? You don't want my, I mean, what do you want my autograph for? But it's crazy. It's like, sure, I'll sign something for you. Yeah. So, but it's a cool experience.
Cool. Then they run a lot of different like tech divisions and stuff like that too. You're not just going out against like the trophy trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, correct. It's always funny when you hear, you go to the pre-race meetings and they'll talk to, guys on the motorcycles or the guys and gals on the motorcycles, and they'll say, listen, you're going out 3 or 4 hours earlier than the trophy trucks. If a trophy truck catches up to you, don't think you're going to outrun it because you've had a 4-hour head start. Please pull to the side and let them around. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, there's a bunch of different classes, and which is good so that everyone can compete, right? So, I mean, what's the craziest thing to me is the people who Ironman it, especially those on a bike. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how you Ironman that thing on a bike, but I mean, people do it every year, so it's crazy. Yeah.
Well, it'd be good if they had like a rust bucket division.
Yeah.
My truck and trippers.
I might be able to make it, a mile or two of that before something broke.
Yeah. But they've got the Volkswagen. There's a lot of you'll see Volkswagens out there with a couple of divisions for the Volkswagen. So but it's cool. It is, again, I'd just encourage you or any of the listeners that whether you somehow have the opportunity to participate or you just go attend, it's totally worth the experience. So
cool. Yeah, you ran though. You must have met guys like Robbie Gordon and stuff like that down there.
Yeah, I mean, they won't remember. I mean, they met me, is what I would say. No, I'm just kidding. They would. I mean, you meet, like Rob Max. You meet all these guys down there. And it's and it's cool. What's cool about it is, I would tell you, most racing, it's a tight knit community, right? It's like, oh man, I need something. A fellow racer's like, oh, here, let me, I a belt. I've got this issue. Hey, let me take care of you. And I would say it's even greater in off-road, in the desert racing. I mean, in multiple races, whether, we had issues in a couple different races and someone pull over, oh, you need a belt, here you go. Or one time we actually rolled our vehicle in the Mint 400. Somebody stopped, said, look, I'm already out of the race. Let me help turn you back over. I mean, it's a small community. It's like, how can I help you? And that's part of the allure for us, even with the automotive and motorsports theme, is it's just like, it's this tight-knit community where people give a shit, if that makes sense. It's like, hey, it's cool, we got something in common, versus how am I going to screw you because I want to win and I want to, and I'm sure that there's some of that, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it just feels like a really cool, it's a nice community for desert racing, but I think just cars in general, whether you go out to, we're the official coffee of Good Guys. So if you ever go to a Good Guys event, the official coffee there. So they've got, they serve us in registration. all that, and just that the community. It's always like, hey, how are you? Is there anything I can do to help you? So
Cool.
yeah.
Guys, it looks like, I mean, you guys are in quite a bit of that stuff, like the car show scene and all that too, because actually it's a friend of the network that introduced us to you guys, and it's like, you guys got to have these guys on.
Yeah, Tim from Full Throttle. Yeah, Tim.
Yep.
He's a cool dude. Love Tim. We've seen him at multiple shows. We met Tim at, I don't even know how. I think I met Tim just reaching out to him, asking for some advice. And then we saw him at Lone Star Throwdown as a show in Conroe, Texas, that they have every year in February, and really hit it off face to face. And we've just kept up with each other for the past couple of years. And Tim's good people. He just really good people with that Full Throttle magazine in Texas. So
yeah, and he, like I said, we've had him on a couple times in that, and usually once per episode he does mention you guys, and you guys come out and stuff. So he name drops you guys.
That's good stuff. Well, I'm gonna have to start name dropping him a little bit more then. Yeah, no, but he and his wife, just good people. We just saw them at a show in Denton, Texas, 2 weekends ago, I think. Yeah, it was 2 weekends ago, called Pistons and Paint, put on by the Chupacabra Car Club. And it was so it's always good seeing them, and just again, good people, good folks.
Now, how far do you guys go to a lot of car shows and stuff, or?
If you are out on the trail or heading to the off-road park for the weekend, there are two things you will need: beadlocks and Gearhead Coffee's Beadlock Texas Pecan. This small batch roast uses natural pecan oil to give this sweet, rich flavored coffee a subtle hint of pecan. Equally important, imagine waking up to the aroma of this handcrafted coffee. While the coffee will get you up on the trail, it's the beadlock wheels that will keep you going. Developed 40 years ago by Marsh Racing, the beadlock wheel was originally designed for the Dodge military truck and were dubbed the combat wheel. Today you will find beadlock on all types of vehicles such as Jeeps, trophy trucks, rock crawlers, and utility vehicles. So next time you hit the trail, make sure your beadlocks are torqued and our Beadlock Texas Pecan is in the bag.
Registrations. Next year, we're looking at the docket now. We're trying to build out a larger national footprint. So right now we're not for sure, but we're considering it's the seasonal kick in February. We'll have an Autorama show, the Dallas Autorama. But from there, we'll head out to, looks like we're going to head to 2 events in Florida and then 1 in Myrtle Beach the weekend after that. So we'll really hit that East Coast. We need to do a much better job on the West Coast, especially with our background, like King of Hammers. It would be awesome for us to be at a King of Hammers, and we've never been. We've done some things with like a BF Goodrich. We've been in some of their tents. So we were actually in their tent at King of Hammers last year. Our coffee was, and we work with a group called Flex Rocks and Rollovers. If you ever get a chance, check them out. Cool guys. Some hardcore off-road rock crawling. They just dropped their Rain of Rocks 2022 on their YouTube channel yesterday. But good guys there. But yeah, so we're trying to get out more to the national scene. We are an official sponsor of Texas Motorplex. That's where we run the NHRA Fall Nats here in Ennis, Texas, right south of Dallas. Oh, cool. So they've got a Gearhead coffee shop. And so we do a lot with the NHRA there. We partner with sort of your neck of the woods, Coletta Motorsports up out of Ypsilanti. So we, Ypsilanti, Michigan. So they serve our coffee in their VIP tents and things like that too. So yeah. But we need to grow. We need to get more people so that we can hit more and more events, because legitimately there's 1,000 cars and coffee every weekend right across the country.
Yeah, so, I know there's a couple around here. Like I'm part of a Facebook group like 608 Mustangs and stuff, because code, and they do coffee trips all the time, and a couple other car clubs around here do it. And I know it'd be cool to see something like that around here, because I was looking to see where like distribution or where you've got around here, and the closest place is actually Iowa for us.
Right. Yeah. So so if I look in Wisconsin, we really don't have anybody. We just went live with Summit Racing. So Summit has us now online, and Summit has us in their four stores around the country. Now that's not near you guys. The closest one to you would be in Ohio. But we're, as we look to expand, we're primarily, B2C, so business consumer from our website, or direct to consumer from our website, or D2C. but we work with regional wholesalers or retailers around the country who contact us. And generally we see it's a lot of off-road shops or speed shops, if you will, from that type of from that perspective. But nobody in Wisconsin today. But if you know anybody, obviously let us know, because we'd love to talk to them.
Well, my wife and I are actually kicking around the idea with doing something. Yeah.
Perfect.
But we're just waiting for a couple things to settle down, because she's got some medical issues going on right now, and we're just kind of waiting for that. And but yeah, we've been talking about it and looking at it, because the more and more that, well, since I started talking to you online, the more I've been looking at your stuff and your product, and after tasting the coffee, which absolutely amazing.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot more on there that I definitely want to start being more of a part of. And I want to, there's a couple different types of, or different flavors of coffee you got on there too, that I've got to get ordered.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you say that, because we put about 6 months really into perfecting the roast before we went out. So we didn't want to just, slap some cool logos on it and go. We really wanted people to say, man, I bought it because I love the marketing. It identifies, with my lifestyle, but I keep buying it because, hell, it tastes good. So we use it, I don't want to get too technical from a coffee standpoint, but there's a different grade of bean, right? Like, so a Robusta would be just a basic low quality bean, where you get into an Arabica as a high end. And so we use all Arabica beans. So it's a premium bean. And we've done that, because, to us, it's worth putting a little bit more into the cost of goods to ensure it's a premium quality that people are saying, well, geez, this doesn't just taste like something I got, at the gas station down the road, or I got at the hotel. This is premium, good quality coffee, especially that, and our number one seller is that beadlock Texas pecan. So it's roasted with a natural pecan oil. And so it does well for us.
Well, I think
fiance just ordered a bag of that.
Yep.
She tried it, and she's a fan of that kind of coffee, and she absolutely loved that one, and decided right away. She popped on and ordered a bag, so we'll have that shortly.
Woohoo! That makes us happy. Yeah. And then for all the listeners, so everything's available in ground, whole bean, or we've trademarked the term Pistons, but K cups. So we've trademarked we call K cups Pistons, and so but I appreciate, it's great to hear that she enjoyed the coffee. So yeah,
I know my wife wants to get some of the dark roast.
Yeah, the big block or the gear oil?
I gotta look. I think it's the big block.
Yeah, so big block would be our dark, and then gear oil is a super dark, and then we get into our Grand Prix as our espresso. But the big block is a big seller for us. It's more like I guess you can compare it to maybe like a French breakfast. But it's so I can't say it's better than any of the others. I mean, they're all, selfishly, I think they're all good. So
yeah, she wants to try the espresso too, and I want to try. I'm not like a huge coffee drinker. I did try it and stuff, and it was really good from my standpoint. But
awesome.
I'm wanting to get some of the hot chocolate.
Yeah, we, the two-stroke cocoa. So we've got two different two-stroke cocos. We've got an American and a Mexican. And that Mexican two-stroke cocoa has a little bit of like cinnamon spice to it. And I always joke around. I say, our girls are very multicultural, because we go to a Mexican restaurant and they get chicken nuggets, or we go to an Italian restaurant and they get chicken nuggets, or we go, but they even love the Mexican cocoa, the Mexican two-stroke cocoa. So it's pretty cool. And the American's good too, but that Mexican's just a little different with that cinnamon spice. So it is, if someone's saying, I want to try the cocoa, I'd always suggest at least try that Mexican. And we're actually going to have a Black Friday special coming up this weekend, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, where we're going to have an opportunity to buy both of those cocos and get a free mug and free shipping and all of that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that is really cool. I'll have to tell my wife that one.
Yeah.
Because I know the boys, they were wanting to try the cocoa too, but a lot of them actually do drink drink coffee, and they absolutely loved it too. Like, we've went through, I know we gave Tripper and Cody about half the bag, and I know we've already went through all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was gone that quick. It was like they made a cup, or they made a pot, drank it, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Ooh, we want some more." So they made another pot, and it's like, guys, slow down.
Yeah. Well, I actually had somebody, we were at an event this past weekend for the Dallas Lowlights. It's the Kennedy Cruise. and they basically take 360s cars and they run the route that Kennedy ran when he was assassinated through Dealey Plaza. Anyways, we did their event, and somebody came and mixed the Mexican cocoa and the big block, and just said, "Oh, it's." I don't, and it just said, "Oh, it's really." So I was like, "All right, yeah, sure, it's your world. I'm just living in it." So, but she's like, "Yeah, it was like my sweetener, and I used the cocoa in it." So, yeah.
Cool. No, that sounds good. I was just sitting there thinking, I wonder if you could put like a spiced rum in with your Mexican cocoa.
I mean, I think you could put alcohol in just about anything. Personally, maybe I don't know if I should be saying that on here, but I mean,
no,
hey,
you're fine. You can say whatever you want. We're not regulated.
Yeah, well, I did listen to one of the last episodes, and I heard a lot about butt stuff, and I was like, man, are we going to be talking about butt stuff on here? What are we? But hey, you got to try everything twice, I guess. Once to try it, second time.
That's usually Tripper's department on that one.
Sometimes 3-4 times in case you're not sure. Sometimes you gotta be slow.
It's good stuff. It's funny.
But
the rum, or even some like bourbon, maybe like a whiskey, or even I think just a touch of anything would be good. Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
we came up with the name for this coffee because of the mastery behind the motor. The 1963 Mark II or Mystery motor was a 427-stroker designed as a race-only engine. Used by Mickey Thompson in his Z06 Corvette at Daytona and Smokey Yunick's record-setting Daytona 500 stock car, this was a secret engine combining both aspects of its predecessor W Series and future Mark IV platform. So how does this tie in with Gearhead Coffee's 427-stroker blend? We have taken the grape from both Big Block Dark Roast and Injected Light Roast to formulate a secret combination of beans that not even our own roasters know about. This is the perfect everyday coffee that you can sit back, sip and wonder what is this mystery roast and why it's so good.
Oh, okay.
It's really good.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, what I love, I'll tell you, what I always keep from Wisconsin, and I actually have like 10 bottles in my refrigerator. If I said it's a beer only sold in Wisconsin, what would you say?
PBR.
No, we sell PBR down here. It's Spotted Cow, New Glarus, Spotted Cow. Have you guys had it? Oh man, I love Spotted Cow. We my day job, we do some work with a big box store that's headquartered in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. You'll know who that is. But I just had some people up there a couple of weeks ago. I was like, bring me back a case of New Glarus Spotted Cow. So they shipped me a case because you can't buy it outside of Wisconsin. So yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see it everywhere here.
Yeah, no, I know you do, right? Like I hadn't had it. The last time I'd had, so when I go to Wisconsin, I have it. I mean, it's been probably 4 years since I've been to Wisconsin with COVID and all that stuff. But so they shipped me back a case. It was great.
Whereabouts do you come up here to hang out?
So right now it's been for business mostly. But like earlier in my professional career, I was with Kohler Plumbing, so I was in Vegas or Sheboygan, Kohler. I'd fly in and out of Milwaukee. But I've been to Madison to a Wisconsin game, did the jump around third quarter, experienced it all. So I've definitely eaten some supper clubs with 60-ounce steaks and a bunch of brats. And I love Wisconsin, aside from the fact that summer is from July 4th through the 7th. I love it. Outside of that, it's cold, but outside of that, I love Wisconsin. So.
I think we've actually transitioned back to fall right now.
Yeah,
we were in winter for a while.
Well, I just read a quick article. Dallas, so they had this record snowfall in Buffalo. Dallas had record snowfall as well because we had flurries at the airport on November 18th, which previously the record was November 19th. So we it was a record snowfall for us here in Dallas with flurries on November 18th.
Yeah. So I gotta ask then, Packers or Cowboys?
Oh man, neither. I went to middle school and high school in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh. So I am a massive Steelers fan. Unfortunately, I was at the Super Bowl where the Pack beat the Steelers. It played here in Dallas, but I do have to cheer for Dallas now just because I have season tickets and I resell them. So I gotta. I want them to win just so ticket value's up. The guy who has the seats next to me is appalled that I'm a Steelers fan and have Cowboys season tickets, but it was just a business prop for me. So, yeah.
That's all right. I'm probably one of the only Miami Dolphin fans here in the state of Wisconsin. So
that is well, I'll tell you, I got a fraternity brother that works for the Packers, who's originally from Miami. I don't know if he does tickets. I don't even know what exactly he does, but that's funny. They see a Dolphins. You're from Wisconsin or
no? I was born in Iowa, raised in Illinois, live in Wisconsin. So kind of, I guess I'm.
So how Dolphins? Marino?
Yeah, I couldn't stand the Bears.
Yeah. Got it. Nobody can stand the Bears unless you live in Chicago.
But yeah, I'm pretty much an idiot out wandering around.
Yeah, nice. I love it. Well, I've been to 2 Packers games at Lambeau. Cool. I mean, it's one of those, just like talk about the Baja. I mean, that is a stadium you have to go to. Just the lure, the frozen tundra. You've got to go there and just you got to hit a game there if you're any sort of football fan, right?
So I've got to ask then, you got any do you have any project cars that you've got or anything like that?
No, so I'll tell you, we've actually right now we've invested 100% of funds are into the coffee company right now. So it has it really, like, we got out of racing, we got out of everything to just invest in the coffee company. The goal now is that we hopefully within the next year or so, we get back to that fun stage of, now we can start playing and having fun and, everything that comes with. But today, I'd love to be able to everybody wants to hear, I've got this badass, 67, or whatever, but I'll just be completely transparent. That is not the case because everything is up in Gearhead today. So, yeah.
Okay.
It is, we look at, as we continue to fund and fuel growth. I mentioned we just went live with Summit Racing in their stores. We're doing a small trial with a national tool brand on their trucks in the northeastern U.S. So they put us on their trucks as they drive around. We've got, just some other big things in the hopper that we're like, man, we've got to fund inventory. You get it. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
so it's not the cool story. It could and should be a much cooler story than we're just trying to pay for inventory right now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least if you got one, it runs. I mean, that's doing better than us. The only thing I've really got is my work van, and my wife's got her family car. But my 2 vehicles are down, and the Tripper's got a used car lot.
Oh, do you? I got 4 right now. Well, one of those cars here. And...
What are you working on, Tripper?
Well, it's cold, so nothing.
Yeah.
I've got a 79 Jeep J10 in the garage. My brother's 78 Corvettes in the garage. I've got a 83 notchback Mustang out back. 96 Chevy.
Okay.
Just half-ton 4x4. Not really supposed to be my winter beater, but currently is my backup winter beater. Nice. And then I've got a Rotbox 02 Silverado with a plow on it.
Nice. Awesome. So you do have a little bit of a lot there. Not too bad.
A little bit, but I try to keep it tucked away.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I know you got at least 1 or 2 of them for sale.
Just the Mustang. Apparently Mustang guys don't have no money this time of year or something.
Well, they're all, trust me, they're all broke right now.
I mean, that one runs and drives. I don't know how reliably because I've never tried to actually daily drive it, but it runs and drives.
There you go. That's all you need.
Exactly.
Maybe Dave should buy it.
No, I got my own Mustang that's not running right.
Yeah, but this one runs.
Well, mine runs. It just has a really bad miss when it warms up. And that's after redoing everything.
It's got a bad mist, you said?
Yeah, it warms up and it's got a really bad spark plug miss in it. And I've changed everything out and just can't get it to can't fix the problem.
Okay.
I even put new heads on it because it was spitting those spark plugs out.
Golly. Jeez.
Yeah.
What year is it?
01.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been fun. Got it in
Yeah.
2020, and I think I've only driven it maybe 500 miles since I've had it.
Golly. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it from some questionable people in Milwaukee, and put everything back together. And this year was supposed to be having the engine done. Yeah, it didn't work out so well. So the car is going to be going to storage, and actually one of our sponsor for the network or for the show, he's going to be working on it for me.
Okay.
Which I haven't even mentioned him yet.
Yeah, I was going to ask I was just going to ask, hey, who's your sponsor?
Right now it is Heartbreak Auto in Janesville, Wisconsin. They're located 1903 Beloit Avenue. Yeah, they're JC and the guys, they do a really good job. Brand new shop, and next spring we're actually doing a big open house car show, burnout pit type deal thing.
Nice.
So,
nice. Well, if you need coffee for that event, you know who to call.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure we will.
Nice. Speaking of what, I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys are movie guys. Netflix. We just watched well, my wife wouldn't watch it. I just watched the Dahmer. Have you seen Dahmer yet?
I haven't. My wife has.
Yeah, my wife made it through about half of the first episode. And when you said some shady people or whatnot in Milwaukee, I immediately was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, they weren't that shady.
Not quite that
bad. Yeah. So.
No, it was just basically putting the car back together, because half the interior was missing. It was missing stuff on the body and that, and finally got it looking good at 30 feet. Now it just needs a paint job for the outside part.
It's a start. As you get, she'll look good from far from good, but as you get, a little bit more work, she'll look good up close. It's good.
Exactly. It's a project.
Yeah.
That's what we got it for.
Yeah.
So, a little more of a project than I was anticipating.
Yeah.
But I mean, it runs better than my truck. My truck runs good. It just, the suspension shot.
It's okay. I mean, it could be worse, right? At least it's running.
Exactly. It does. I mean, it spent a year down because I couldn't figure that one out. Finally got it figured out, and it was something dumb. So,
what was it?
It was the AC tensioner or AC pulley. It froze, but it's a 2005 F250 with a 6-liter diesel.
Okay.
And it's been bulletproof because it went through the whole head gasket issue.
Yeah.
And thought it was something else, replaced parts. Come to find out, it was that stupid AC pump that froze.
Ah, man.
That's
always fun.
Yep. Fix.
You'd probably look at 18. You'd look at 18 other things.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
Well, I even had Tripper come over and try to help me figure it out.
Well, he was telling you this will never run again because he wanted to get it over to his lot.
No, I can't do the Ford trucks. I have a bad history with Ford trucks. They all try to kill me.
That's not. I don't know if that's a story for now or over beer.
It's pretty simple. Like I've had like 4 or 5 major car accidents, and every single one of them was in a Ford truck. And they've gotten progressively worse and worse. And I'm like, I'm going to quit tempting the universe. And I'm going to quit driving these things.
Yeah. Note to self: do not ride with Tripper in a Ford truck.
I was about to say, I'm not going to let him borrow my truck at any time soon.
Yeah.
I have no plans to borrow your truck. That's why I have 3 of my own.
Oh man. Yeah.
Well, his Jeep that he's got is really cool though.
Yeah, that one's getting there. It's technically it's kind of half down right now. Like I don't want to keep driving it, but the pinion seal's leaking on it, and I don't want to accidentally starve the pinion for oil and lock it up. But yeah, that's been a 1.5-year project-ish now.
Right. But what type of Jeep was it again? I'm sorry, I missed that when you said it before.
It's a 1979 Jeep J10 full-size pickup.
Okay. Cool.
So straight 6, 4-speed manual, gear-to-gear transfer case. It's, just an old putt around vehicle. It's not real fast and it's not super pretty, but I have always loved them, and the price on them was gotten obscene, so I was lucky to get one at all because I'm kind of cheap and most of the time I'm fairly broke. So
that's great. Now, do you just because you have an affinity for the car, that's why you want it, or the Jeep, or are you gonna take it? What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know really. Like I want to eventually get some sort of small lift on it, little bigger tires, but for now, I've been just enjoying driving it. It's
Yeah.
super basic. It's, nothing computerized, no power, anything. Like when I bought it, I pressure washed the entire inside of the cab to clean it. It's like nothing got hurt in it. It's like, I love that, just the dead simplicity of it. And I grew up around the Jeep pickups, and like I always loved them back then. And now that I'm older, I've owned a few throughout the years, but none that were daily drivable or streetable. They were all either so far rotted or just no title or whatever. So finally got this one and just kind of been slowly poking away at fixing it. I think it took almost a year to actually get to drive it on the road. So
wow.
Just
well, you'll need to put some bead locks on it so you can enjoy that bead lock Texas pecan with the bead locks on your Jeep.
Yeah, I'll just bust out the checkbook and no, I found some of they had a factory 6-bolt slot for them back in the 70s, and I actually found a set of them in Madison and went out and
in Madison. Wow.
Yeah. Weirdest thing, just one of those things like, when I got it, of course, I was daydreaming and looking at pictures, and I was like, God, I would love to find a set of those, and I'm like, they're like hen's teeth practically, and I'm like hunting around, and I just kind of kept watching and looking, and all of a sudden one day I was on Marketplace, and lo and behold, here's a set of 4 of them. I think they wanted like $120 for them. I was like, I gotta come get these, So like we ran up there and got
please
them.
hold. Yeah.
Sure as shit, had all 4 center caps on them and everything. And I was like, can't beat that.
That's awesome. And local to you as well versus, I found them in California, I had to ship them or,
Yeah, I mean, you can find sets of them on eBay, but everybody wants $500-600 for them. And then you got to pay another $200-300 to ship them. And it's like, I don't want them that bad,
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I know Trevor pretty much lives on Marketplace.
If I had my phone in my hand right now, I'd probably be on Marketplace, but instead I set it down, so I wasn't.
I appreciate feeling a little bit more important than Marketplace, at least for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, Dave dropped off the coffee samples, and like, I'd seen, it was probably close to a year ago now, it was either Facebook or something that popped up the Gearhead coffee as a suggestion because I'd ordered some other coffee offline.
Right.
And at the time I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's cool names. I'm like, sweet logos and stuff. But I was like, it's like, how do I know it's any good? I'm like, this could be Folgers with a fancy package,
Right.
So like when Dave dropped it off and I tried it, I tried the 427 stroker first, the light roast or medium roast.
It's medium roast, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was shocked. It was smooth. It was good. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, I'm not a coffee snob by any sort of means, but we settled for some Folgers a couple months ago, and like it was bitter. I was like, oh, this is awful. And that's where I started out drinking, was like Folgers in the big tub, and
it's just like anything. It really is, you get what you pay for. And we but that, like I talked a little bit earlier about the quality and the taste, and it is like what's nice about it is everything we do is smooth. You don't have that bitter or that acidic taste. And you look at some of the big national chains, we'll say, and they're, and they talk about, oh yeah, we purposely burn ours because, we want it to have that bitter taste. So then you pay to put like a mixer in it or something like that, and you doctor it up. And our whole thing is we just want it to be smooth and like drink it black. And like that what's cool about that beadlock Texas pecan, I love this story. We got a guy, another vendor that we see at the Good Guys shows. He's like, the best part about your beadlock Texas pecan, he's like, I can drink it black. I haven't been able to drink coffee in 2 years because I got diagnosed with diabetes and I was always putting sugar and stuff in here. He's like, I can drink yours black and I don't have to worry about it. It just tastes great. And I told him, I was like, yeah, it's the first coffee my wife will drink black, is that beadlock Texas pecan, and then also our injected light roast. It's like a breakfast roast, but so it is. It definitely does have that smooth taste.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Like I said, she ordered some of it, so we actually get to have more of it now. Yeah. I'll have to try it black. I didn't try it black, but I did it with just milk and a little bit of sugar.
Yeah,
and I was impressed by that one too. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, to me, coffee is, I don't know, it's a personal thing, but everybody's got a different palate. Make it how you drink it how you want to. But we, people want to put a creamer, put anything in it. It's like, go ahead. We've really just tried to create something where if you don't have that, you don't do that puckered up like, oh man, that first bitter taste that you have, like cheap wine. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was expecting. Like just, your basic kind of bottom of the barrel coffee with cool logos and cool names to kind of apply to the niche market. And I was like, like with not having anywhere local to get it, I was like, do you go ahead and order it? You get the whole batch, and then you're like, oh, this isn't any good.
Yeah.
It worked out. Dave dropped off the samples. We were both super impressed, and I'm sure we'll keep ordering right now, and maybe someday somewhere in Wisconsin to start.
Yeah, well, as soon as Dave gets going with his speed shop, they'll have Gearhead coffee for sale. But yeah, it is. We've got a couple options, right? Like, so we've got our standard, you can go on, buy a bag. We've got bulk coffee for sale, and we've got our subscription as well. What's nice about the subscription is you save 15% and you get free shipping. And you set the frequency. It's like, oh, we've got some people who order it weekly because they don't want to store a couple boxes or bags, so they order weekly. We've got people who order every other month or quarterly. So it's like, hey, you set the frequency. Maybe it's only once a quarter, however you want to do it, but you get free shipping and save 15%, and definitely makes it very price competitive from that standpoint. So yeah,
you guys have quite a few options on your website, which is nice about that.
Yeah, we've tried to be. So it's a fine line, right? Like, we've tried not to have too much to overwhelm, but have enough that makes it, it's like, oh, there's different things to try. Even with our meat rubs, we've got our brake dust meat rubs. Yeah, so again, everything's automotive and motorsports themed. But we've got our spicy brake dust, which is made with the beadlock Texas pecan coffee, and then we've got our sweet, which is made with the Grand Prix espresso. And if anybody's a meat fan, you grill, you barbecue, you smoke, any of that, it's really good. If you've never had like a coffee rub, the coffee just adds a little something to the rub and just adds a unique flavor profile. So it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was showing my wife that, and it's like, yeah, I want to order some of that too.
Yeah. Hurry up for Thanksgiving. We just had somebody call us today. He's like, I'm going to pay for overnight shipping on 2 bottles because I want to do my turkey on Thanksgiving with the brake dust. He's like, I love it. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going on your website, you guys have a lot of options. I mean, like the sample packs and stuff like that too.
Yeah, so we have Tripper hit on it. Like, a lot of people, coffee is one of those things where people are like, man, especially you see, the cool marketing. And I think what you voice, Tripper, it's fair and common. If you're like, oh, is this just some marketing on some cheap ass rebranded coffee? And that's not the case by any means. And you guys have tasted that and can vouch for that. But that's why it's so important for us to get out to as many events that we can, because we find when people actually get a chance to taste it, they're like, shit, this is really good stuff. I want to buy some. So that's hence the sample packs allows somebody to say, okay, well, I'll try it. Let me try one of each of the roasts, and I get you get a pack enough for a pot for each roast, and you get to try that. Or you can do the Pistons, a sample pack of the Pistons, and try the coffee. Versus some people would say, oh, I don't know if I want to commit to a full bag, so this just allows me to trial it. So yeah.
Okay. Now, do you guys ever have plans to like put it in like the chain stores at all, or no?
Yeah, so we do. So we do down the road. There's so many different layers. So CPG. So this is a CPG, consumer packaged good. So all this stuff. It's fairly new to me. My background has always been building materials. I talked about being with Kohler Plumbing. From that perspective, so it's always been building materials. But we. So there's a lot, like sometimes you have to pay for shelf space. You have to do all these little things. I mean, I'm just learning, but yeah, I would say that we would have plans, or we do have plans. We've had a couple initial discussions with some national grocery chains, if you will, about a small try, maybe it's just starting in the Texas area, just from that standpoint. But there are aspirations to go national. The one thing that we want to make sure that we keep though is we want to keep identifying with our target market, with our customer base, and we don't want to become overly commercialized and lose some of the family feel. Like the one thing that we do right now, and we get reviews on this all the time, is whether it's myself, my wife, any of our employees, we hand sign every packing slip. Hey, it's just a note to the purchaser. And we want to be able to maintain that grow, but still have that small company feel where we can, connect with our customer base. Oh, there you go.
Yep.
You can see, you got it right there. That looked like Lori's signature, I think, at a quick glance. So,
yeah, it looks like there's a L in there.
Yeah, there we. Yeah, I saw the big at the front. I'm like, yep, there's Lori. Yeah, it's Lori. So yeah, so it's small, but just that little piece of wanting to, connect with our customer base every time there's a handwritten thank you note to say we appreciate you. So yeah.
And I mean, the nice thing too, with like when you sent it, the emails and stuff that came along with it, like, hey, it's on its way, it's been shipped and all this. Yeah. It's kind of nice to know that. That way you're not wondering, okay, has it been?
Yeah, did they really ship to this company? Did this company just take my money and not send anything? Where's the copy? No, it's cool. Yeah, as soon as you order, you get a confirmation, then you get tracking, you get all that stuff so that you're able to just monitor the shipment the entire way. And that way it's just keeping people informed. I mean, you guys know technology. I mean, look at us. We're sitting here on a camera. We're talking, we're talking on, talking here on a camera, and so technology is, people want to be in the know. They want to have their thumb on everything. And so we worked hard to provide that type of service. So.
No, that is really cool. That's the one thing, like, I was just surprised. It was like, oh, wow, I got an email.
Yeah. They're like, wow, man, they're a real company.
Yeah. I'd imagine, like, with Cody and Tripper, they probably got the same email and stuff, or not the same email, but the email stating that it's on its way and all that.
Yeah.
But that's really cool, because it does make you feel like you actually, the customer actually matters.
It's true. And so we really try to put customer first. Every decision we make is customer first. We've got, we'll have somebody say, oh, it shows delivered, but it's not here. And, oh, somebody must have stolen it. And we'll say, hey, well, we'll make sure you're taken care of, because we want you to know that Gearhead stands behind the product, stands behind our customers, all of that. So now I'm not trying to give anybody ideas. Yeah, I ordered it. It never came. Because we could track to see if you did order it. But,
I ordered a pallet of that. It never showed up.
Yeah, I ordered 63 bags. You did? We don't see any order. Oh, I don't know what happened then. Yeah,
it's right there.
No, but it's just small things like that of really trying to make sure. And I would venture to say that, we let our reviews speak for themselves. And while most people review the product, there's oftentimes where they mention the customer care, the customer service, or the little touches that we do. And it's rewarding for us to even see that, and for just to be recognized that people appreciate that we're trying to go that extra mile for customer service. So, yeah.
Well, I didn't see, like, you guys have all good reviews too. It's like a lot of mainly 5-star reviews and all that.
Yeah.
Reading some of them, it's like, wow, cool.
Yeah, no, and so it goes back to that. It just reinforces the thought process of premium Arabica beans, and really and the reality is, it's like some people care, some people don't, because I go back again to what Tripper said before. He's like, yeah, is this going to be good or not? And so anytime somebody gets the opportunity to taste the coffee, we encourage them, hey, and we've got a money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. So don't be afraid to try the coffee, because coffee is one of those things that people want to try and make sure it's not, oh, I just bought it down the street at the convenience store and threw it in a Gearhead bag. So,
yeah. No, like I said, it's a great product.
Yeah, well, we definitely appreciate that. And, it was cool. I was you'd reached out about being on the show. And I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. So this is I think only my, I did a radio show in South Carolina last year, but this is I think my first podcast to do for Gearhead. So I'm enjoying. I feel like I'm going to remember this always. I'm going to actually take a print screen of my computer screen so I can remember you guys always. I'm going to hang you on the wall here.
No, the nice thing about us too is you really don't have to watch what you say at all. So
well, I picked that up when I was listening to a couple of the other episodes. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it was great. Because you never know what to expect. Is it going to be like prim and proper, or can I be myself? And yeah, so.
Well, we usually try to feed off of how like the guests go, and if the guest wants to say like really business and serious and all that, we stay that way. If the guest starts joking around, we joke around. It's just kind of how it is. We try to be extremely respectful and stuff. And
yeah, well, I feel like I've been a lot of business on this one, so I'll have to be more joking around on the next one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd love to have you back on.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We so I throw out one thing, we're on social media. Everybody check us out. So gearheadcoffee.com, but we're also on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You can follow our accounts there. And we try to have fun on those too. So, you go to a lot of companies and it's just posting about themselves. And we try to just have fun, on social media as well. It sort of reflects who we are. So we have a good time on social media and do a lot of joking around on there too. So, I mean, we're not coaching, but we just have some
some business stuff.
I know, it was funny. I was like, "Oh, daddy's gonna do a podcast," and inside I'm like, "Yes, there's another hour of like solitude before I go." Yeah.
I usually get that, but once in a while the wife comes in and asks a question, or she likes to pop in sometimes and say hi to everybody. And
yeah,
because I know my wife and Tripper's fiance are actually starting up their new show at hopefully soon.
Oh, cool. What's their show going to be centered on?
Basically trying to live better. It's going to be living well with bad habits.
Okay.
So mental health, physical health, all that stuff. So
right. So which is important, right?
Yep.
I mean, it really is. Like I talk all the time. I tell people, it's like, oh, faith and family first, and you've really got to make time. And I think the older I get, the more real it is. It's like, man, I've got my little girls are 7 and 8, and I swear they were just born.
I know.
And I can imagine. So it's one of those adages people say, oh, when you're in high school, it's the best time of your life. Don't forget it. Or, when you have kids, be careful, they grow up so fast, and all that stuff. The older you get, you're like, wow, it's really true. It is so true. And so, yeah.
Yeah, because our boys run from 18 to 8. So
wow, that's quite a time frame there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a mixed or blended family. So
okay.
Yeah, we got 2 18-year-olds, a 16, 15, 13, and 8.
Wow. So I mean, seriously. Hats off to your wife.
10, and then the fiance has a 16 and a 24.
Wow. So you've got quite, yeah. I mean, but it is crazy. It is. I mean, the older I get, at least, I look and I'm like, man, stop and smell the roses. Enjoy. I find myself just like looking at my little girls now. We'll be sitting at dinner or something. I'll just look and be like, man, I want to remember you at this age. Versus like. Yep. No, I don't remember.
Versus in 10 years when they're working for the company and slinging coffee.
Yeah.
They're trying to.
But we do have them working for the company already. We put them to work. We take them to shows, and they actually love it. And I think it's cool. I love it for their development too, because they're not afraid to talk to anybody. They're like, hey, let me tell you about the coffee. It's this, here's this. Today we're serving our beadlock Texas pecan and our big block, and so,
awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've heard of our other show either that's on the network, Shots from the Balcony.
I've not. Shots from the Balcony. Uh-oh. This sounds uh-oh. But the laugh tells me it all.
It's a show where anything goes.
Okay.
Ask Dave if I can give the disclaimer. Dave, can I give the disclaimer?
Yeah, go ahead.
We are not responsible for your therapy.
Well, I feel like I'm going to need it after I listen to an episode of that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them that are pretty good. You ever get a chance to listen to like Tiny Humans? That's a good one. Because there's a play-by-play that I did of ET porn. Tripper's got quite a few of them in there. You've got forklift jousting at some point.
Yeah, that's in there somewhere. That one's ruined a bunch of people permanently.
Well, I feel like it's almost like ET porn sounds a little bit like a train wreck. Like you can't stop looking at it, but you want to look at it.
Pretty much. Yeah. It was something.
Yeah. Nice.
But I mean, we've had guests on there from like God, now I just had his name and I drew a blank, but he used to own the Bunny Ranch before he passed away.
Oh,
Dennis Hoff.
I'm sorry?
Dennis Hoff.
Yes. Yeah.
We've had like him on that show, and oh my gosh, what was we had a wrestler on there too, and I forget what's. Oh, this is gonna drive me nuts. I know I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna be laying in bed about ready to fall asleep and be like, oh yeah. But
was it a recent wrestler, like old school?
He was from the 80s. Tony Ellis.
Okay. Oh, Tony Ellis. Okay.
Yep. I mean, we've had a lot go on with that show. I mean, we've had people call in and try to argue with us on stuff, and we've had our own rants and raves, and yeah, it's something else. So if you get a chance,
that's not. I didn't listen to the wrong thing when I listened to the butt stuff. Then, right? That was on here.
It could have been. We've sidetracked sometimes.
Yeah.
If it was a recent one, I think that would have been on the Shots from the Balcony.
Well, it was like a recent episode over the past month or two.
Yeah,
it might have been Shots from the Balcony.
Okay. Well, now I completely understand Shots from the Balcony. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the show where anything goes, and that's kind of that is the main show on the network.
Okay.
But this one automotive, but we can talk a bit. And just kind of jumped into it.
Yeah.
I got brought on. My now fiance, she was doing it before I ever joined, and one day she told me that I should go do it with her or something, and I was like, I don't think I have anything to contribute, and like I sat there and did my first one, and I enjoyed it. Like, it just got on and got to talk. Like, it was just it's like standing around the garage shooting the shit,
Yep.
Right.
Except you're sitting in the basement with a microphone.
Yeah.
And it's therapy.
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of it's really cool, the fact of like meeting different people, and that's the one thing I love about doing this. It's just everybody that I've gotten to meet. I mean, sitting there at home not doing anything, you don't really get to meet different people, right. And you're pretty much stuck in your own little circle. At least this expands the circle out, and you can really get to know people.
Sure. Yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, especially now, did you start, how long have you guys been doing it?
This show has been running since 2015. Shots from the Balcony has been going since 2014, I believe.
Okay.
13, somewhere right around in there.
Well, I would think like this type of platform during COVID, especially, would probably awesome for you guys, being able to just interact with people, versus like you're saying, being, just in your house and, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dan, it's funny when you mentioned Kohler, the place I work for, we actually go there and calibrate their machines.
Oh, do you really? Okay. Yep. In the foundry and I mean, they got machines and all the different, That's a cool tool. That's a cool manufacturing facility.
It is. I think we do their hardness.
Okay.
Hardness testers.
Excuse me? We're not on Shots on the Balcony or Shots on the Balcony, are we? Wait, hold on a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny that you mentioned that. So it's like, oh yeah, shoot.
Yeah. So it is. It's a cool. And I don't know if you're a golfer, I'm not really a golfer, but I've golfed up there a couple of times, or I did golf up there a couple of times. It's just it's an awesome experience being up there too. The hotel, all the stuff that they put us in as employees when we were up there. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think last time I golfed was in high school and I was drunk.
Yeah. Well, I got into golf. I took it in college, actually. It was like a course that I needed to, I didn't need this one to graduate, but I needed a couple credits. I'm like, golf it is. Yeah.
That's actually a course in college.
Yeah. Golf. I had backpacking. What else did I have that was fun? I had, my first college A was growing fruit for fun and profit. That was my first college A. Other good ones were The Meat We Eat, Wildlife Issues. I mean, I had some killer courses there. I had to graduate. I needed some good grades. So
meat weed, that sounds like it'd be a good one.
Yeah, no, it was, and then biodiversity in a changing world. But yeah, my first college egg, growing fruit for fun and profit. You literally went in and you tried some fruit, drank some juice, listened to a little lecture or whatnot. And then you got it on. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's awesome. Now, so do you have any plans to get back, like kind of going back full circle? Do you have any plans to get back into like the racing?
Yeah, so we'd love to do that. We would love to do that here in the next couple of years. I think the reality is, I don't know if it's off-road or desert racing. Does it become more? Is it tracker? Is it the WRLA? Is it something that a little bit closer to home? Because the one thing about going out there for the desert racing is, going from Texas every couple weekends out to Vegas with the whole team, the chase trucks, all that, it adds up in cost really quickly. Same thing going down to Mexico, where not that other racing doesn't add up in cost. I mean, it all does, but is there opportunities to get into some other types of racing that would be, closer to home or more, that make it a little bit more economically feasible from that perspective. So, but the goal would be, yes, to get back into something. And then, like I talked about before, project cars. I mean, really, I said we're not working on anything. We are working on a 2008 E350 as a coffee van. But I mean, it's not like we're, but getting into a real, a project vehicle. I'd love like a C10 one day.
Nice.
Something along those. I love old school Lincoln Continentals. I do. That's part of that Kennedy cruise. It's awesome watching all these Continentals come down the street from pre-60s and stuff. So yeah.
You'd have to get a bunch of different types of cars so you can do one with each one of your coffees.
It's true. It's like I like my wife gets annoyed at me all the time. I'm like, well, look, we could have this, and this because we need this for the off-road show. We need this for this show. We need this for this show. And she's like, I think you're using this as an excuse. I'm like, so be it. But the reality is, we need them all.
Drag car, snowmobile, ATV,
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. It's so true.
A BMX bike.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean everything, right? So
yeah. Maybe two of them just in case you don't want to lose one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just like trying everything twice.
Yeah. Like, so now I have 47 cars. Oops.
Yeah. But they all serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a big enough backyard, so he's good to park a few more there.
Yeah.
Well, Tennessee City gets on me, and then you got to get rid of them all.
Has the city come to you?
Not to me, no, not yet. I usually do a pretty good job of keeping my stuff cleaned up, tucked away, because I know they can get on people.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to be that guy.
I thought you were going to say, no, they haven't come to me, just my fiance when I've been out of the house.
Well, I think, does she have a rule about how many more cars you can get?
Preferably, she would probably prefer I get none more most of the time, but she'll usually cave. And, if I take her for a nice cheeseburger after we go get a vehicle, she's usually all right.
That's a good trade. Look, there's a cheeseburger in it for you. What do you want from me? Yeah.
I just figured she'd chime in at that point.
This is not my show.
I was just waiting for it though.
I'm practicing my place.
Someday she would like to be able to park inside a garage. I know
that would be wonderful.
Right now, it's being used for.
Well, I got two vehicles basically stored in there.
Okay.
All my tools and all that stuff. So you can just walk around the one vehicle, but you can't actually get to the far side of my garage without opening the garage door. No.
Nice.
It's bad.
Well, it could be worse. It could be I don't have any vehicles in there because I've just got parts and tools stored in there.
I mean, there is that. It's been in that stage numerous times where it's like I physically can't fit anything because it's just stuff, and you're like, okay, this has to change, and then you put some, clean it all out, put a vehicle in there, and you're like, oh look, I still can't move.
Have you got room in your backyard?
Yeah, that's fine. I do all my work in the driveway nowadays.
Well, if you let the grass grow long enough, nobody will ever see what's back there, right?
I like to mow.
Well, the dogs love it.
Yeah.
But I know like I said before with wholesaling it, my wife and I were kind of talking. We were almost looking at maybe like a food truck idea.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, if you look at like car shows, anything related to car, that car scene, right? You can pull in and hey, ready to go and ready to serve, and and the truck makes it really simple too. You pull in, don't have to set up, and just pull right out when you're done. And yeah, so it definitely, it just like I was saying, there's probably in Wisconsin, there's probably 20 events a weekend every Saturday that you could go to. Right. Yep. So then it's really thinking about how do you rank those, like, okay, I don't want to go to one where there's going to be 7 cars. I'd rather go to one where there's 100 cars, or just starting to look at that the size of the show then gets into it. Now, obviously you guys wouldn't be, you're probably shut down for the show season right now. I'd imagine you're done with car shows till probably March.
Yeah. You catch ice racing, snowmobile events though.
Oh yeah.
Where something like a hot coffee would be a hell of a seller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Getting it for the warmth, they'd try it, they'd love it. Like I said, I was super impressed by it.
Yeah.
If you can get the stuff down someone's throat, they're gonna like it.
Right. If I had a nickel. No, just kidding. No, it's true, but yeah, I didn't even think about that, right? Because I the cool, like, we obviously, when it's 106 degrees, our coffee sales aren't through the roof at a car show in Texas. But right, like this time of year, it's perfect for us. Like I talked about that Pistons and Paint earlier. That show was great for us. I mean, we went through 22 air pots, we went through 300 to 400 cups of coffee in a couple hours. And so, that cooler weather definitely leaves people in a state of wanting a hot, coffee or cocoa. So
start doing iced coffee in the summer.
We're actually looking at that. We are, I look at new product development. We are right now we're more than just investigating a canned iced coffee, so having a canned coffee that we'd be able to put on the shelves or refrigerate or whatnot. But I will say, from an iced coffee standpoint, that beadlock Texas pecan, we get reviews on that where people they'll brew it overnight, or they'll brew it, put it in the fridge, and drink that flavor. It's really good. So
I don't know if my wife's tried that yet. I mean, she loves iced coffee.
Yeah. Try it. Yeah, try it for sure.
Last long enough.
Yeah.
It probably all gets drank before she can.
True.
Yeah.
I think when she actually gets to enjoy the coffee is when all the kids are at school and she can sit back and actually take a second.
Right. Yeah. If they've left any. Oh, sorry, the pots are empty.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But all right, I suppose had you on here for over an hour. I won't take up too much more of your time.
Oh, well, I appreciate you guys having me on. Like I said before, I'm screenshotting this bad boy and hanging it on the wall. I'm gonna hang it on the wall and be like, look, this is my first official Gearhead podcast. So
cool. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do more with the coffee and stuff like that too. So
cool, good stuff. Well, we'll definitely be in touch for sure. And again, appreciate you guys having us on. And last little plug again, I mentioned before, gearheadcoffee.com, and you can check out all of our different roasts, our cocoa, our meat rubs, our apparel, merch, all that stuff. So, and then look, if anybody, I don't know, when does this go live?
I'm gonna try to get it out there within the next week or so. I'll let you know.
So I won't mention Black Friday then, because we'll be past Black Friday. So we'll be past Black Friday.
If you got anything you want to do for Christmas.
Yeah, so I will tell you this, we are going to have, we're going to have some Black Friday bundles where we're going to have like free mugs and free shirts, free stick, stuff like that. But we are going to have some cool promos that'll come out here in early December, where if you look, we've got, our core platform is that injected 427 and big block. Each one of those roasts has a matching shirt, a matching sticker, a matching magnet, and we're going to have these gift packs where it's like, oh, you can get a bag of Big Block T-shirt and hat and all, where the shirt matches the bag and then a hat and all that stuff. So we'll have some promos tied to the roast specific gift sets, if you will.
Okay.
There's great stocking stuffers, great, and we'll have different price points, all those things for people looking to say, I want to spend $30 on a gift. I want to spend $100 on a gift. I want to, anywhere in between. So
good for the office parties and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
What is that, the white
great
elephant
gifts.
or the Secret Santa stuff?
Yeah, and for the gearhead in your life, maybe you've got a mechanic in your life, anything. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe you've got 4 cars in your backyard, and the fiance is really pissed at. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go, Tripper. Just whenever you buy a new car, just buy another bag of coffee.
Yeah,
here you go. See if that'll work for you.
Yeah. Well, good stuff, guys. I appreciate y'all so much for having us on.
Hey, no problem. Like I said, anytime you want to come back on, just let me know if you guys got something like a new product or something.
Yeah.
Up, and I'll be more than happy to have you back on.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and if I don't speak to you before, have a Merry Christmas too.
You too.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
And hold on. Oh, wrong mouse. Recording. Stop.